Welcome back, fight fans, to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I am your host, Olin, aka MMAnomaly, and with me, as usual, is the co-host with the most, Jive Turkey Nano. In this episode, we are going to be breaking down UFC 292, but first, we got to ask, how we doing, Nano?
We are doing great. We are doing fine and mighty on this Saturday morning. Living the good life, baby. It's fight day. No need for coffee, man. I am juiced up on life. Let's go.
Let's go. I don't need the coffee, but I like the taste, so I picked it up anyways. We out here, baby.
Double caffeinated. We are jazzed up, ready to go. Let's go,
man,
baby.
You ain't lying. We are in for one hell of a time today. UFC 292 is one of those cards that honestly it's going to end up being just as good in real life as it is on paper. And I think that's a rare occasion. And if I'm being completely honest, this is one of those cards that I truly don't think is being overhyped. I don't think it's being hyped enough. There's a lot of really solid fights on this card. There's a lot of sleeper fights on this card. And
Don't sleep.
Don't sleep on them, man. Don't sleep on them because they'll wake you up, man.
They'll wake you up.
So yeah, man, we're going to go ahead and jump right into this. We have a lot of fights to cover, and we're going to try and get through it in our normal hour and a half time slot here. So jumping into one of the first cards on the early fight prelims tonight, Andrea KGB Lee coming in against Natalia Silva. Do you want to go ahead and take the lead on this one?
I can quickly jump in. Yeah, man. We got our girl, Andrea KGB Lee, a household name for us here. We've been chatting about her for years, a big fan. But, man, we got to shine a little bit of light here on our girl, Natalia Silva. Somebody we may not know about. You at home, I think, who is this? Natalia, okay. Sounds nice. Pretty face, nice hair. Well, guess what? She's a 26-year-old, has not lost a fight since 2017. She's a beast, y'all. Okay, I feel bad for my girl, Andrea KGB. She's got her work cut out for her today, unfortunately. But Natalia, 5 KOs, 7 TKOs, and her 15 Ws. She's young, she's pretty, and she's skillful, man. I'm excited to see her come out here. I think she's going to showcase some amazing strikes in this matchup. I do think KGB Lee's best chance is to sort of neutralize her forward attack in Natalia and, hey, grab the bull by the horns, stay in the pocket, make it muddy, get inside, and use that good grappling and wrestling that we know KGB Lee has. She does not want to make it a striking match with this girl. Yeah, we don't know much about her. Yes, she's 26 years old. KGB's thinking, I'm 34. I got a lot on this young woman. I'm gonna teach her a couple things. Well, hey, guess what, man? These young new fighters are no joke. They're coming in with a lot of skills, a lot of confidence, almost naive in a way, thinking I can't get beat. And she hasn't in 6 years professionally, has not lost. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. The Southpaw Natalia is no joke. Unfortunately, I think I'm leaning that way a little bit more here. But always got to root for my girl KGB Lee, man. It's gonna be a fun one to start the card. How you feeling about it, brother?
Well, I worked with Andrea KGB Lee in my first restaurant job. It's hard to root against her. In this case, I'm not rooting against her, but I will say I'm probably betting against her, being wholeheartedly honest with you guys here. Andrea KGB Lee is a seasoned fighter with a well-rounded skill set. She has a background in kickboxing and Muay Thai, actually, which is evident in her striking prowess. You can see it on full display in her fights. She has a crisp striking style, always utilizing her range and timing to land the cleanest shots possible. Now, stepping across from her is the fresher face in Natalia Silva, who has looked nothing short of impressive in her first 3 UFC bouts. Prior to her UFC debut, Natalia was actually more well known for her aggressive grappling style and constant hunt for submissions in the cage. Since her debut in the UFC, she's now coming off of 2 back-to-back knockouts over Teresa Bleda and Victoria Leonardo. This should be a striker versus grappler situation on paper, but by all accounts, Natalia doesn't seem the type to shy away from a stand-up bout. And she will look to march right into the center of the octagon, look Andrea KGB in the eye, and say, let's throw down. This one really does promise to be a battle of fight IQ and game planning, in my opinion. Both women seem very fit, very well-equipped, and very, very ready to go to battle on Saturday night, a.k.a. tonight.
Let's go.
As a betting man, I got to tell you, though, just like I said before, I'm going to have to pick against the one I've met in real life and go with Natalia Silva. She is the younger, crisper fighter. She is, as you said, undefeated for quite some time now. And I think she looks to keep that reign going. And if she beats a name like Andrea KGB Lee, you got to think it's going to catapult her into stardom. She's going to be a household name in the next 2 to 3 years if she keeps this up.
Love that analysis, brother. Absolutely agree. JJ Smoke, what's up, brother? See you in the chat there.
Let's go, JJ.
Always, man. Let us know who you're excited about. Let us know your predictions, man. Let's get some back and forth going. Always love hearing your banter. Love when you bring the smoke, brother. Love where there's smoke, there's fire. So love to hear it. And I want to clarify. I mentioned that Natalia has 5 KOs, and then I said 7 TKOs. It's too early here. Should have had my coffee. 7 submissions. 7 submissions with 5 knockout victories. Extremely well-rounded, extremely crisp, like you said. It's gonna be a fun one.
And I mean, speaking of fun ones, guys, I don't know if you know this, but we have a pay-per-view tonight, which is actually worth the money, in my opinion.
Let's go.
And before that, we have a fight card that, honestly, like the prelims and the early prelims alone could be their own fight card. You got Chris Weidman and Brad Tavares headlining the prelims. That could headline a like whatever fight night. Let's just call a spade here. You got RoboCop on the card. But before that, we have 2 fights that I am extremely excited to break down.
We've been building this one up for weeks now, man. We've been looking forward to this for months.
I may have more notes on Brad Katona versus Cody Gibson and Kurt Hollabaugh versus Austin Hubbard than I do on the main and co-main event here.
I was just gonna say, man, these Ultimate Fighter fights, we were talking about it, right? Obviously, with the timing of the season, and then when we were looking at this UFC 292, we were wondering, hey, it does look a bit light. What's going on? Let's do some calculations here. If so facto, the champs are going to be on there, right? Fighting for the Ultimate Fighter championship or title, I should say. But yeah, man, I mean, great episode. We've yet to talk about that. So part of my analysis was kind of tied in there, and then just breaking down the fights. These 2 guys that we've learned to grown to like love or hate. I don't know if you're a Brad Katona fan or not. He, maybe a little pesty, but I'm a big fan.
More of a Brad Katona fan before this season, if I'm being honest with you, bro.
He's leaning into it, right? I don't know if he's trying to channel this Colby Covington, like, I'm this heel in a way, but hey, brother, I mean, let's break them down. I mean, these could be on a main card, honestly. They probably should be, but why not break them out on a UFC debut here in Boston for our East Coast fan base there that you, like you said, is going to be rowdy.
For the East Coast fan base, for the Irish fan base. I don't know if you know, but there's a lot of Irish population over there in Boston. Shipping off to Boston. Whoa.
Hey, I mean, I don't know if you saw that pub. That Irish pub was fired up, man.
It was fired up.
Can you imagine going to your local pub, getting a pint with your boys, and then seeing Ian Machado Gary mixing it up in there in full getup? Brother.
Just hitting pads, bro. Getting it.
Hitting pads. I might have put my face in one of those pads just for old shits and gigs.
Let's see how that feels. Oh, yeah. He's got the power.
Wake up 2 days later. Yeah. Oh, yeah. One of those knees, nude face.
So, jumping into the prelims, we got Brad Katona against Cody Gibson. Man, first of all, what did you think about that Cody Gibson fight that we saw on this week's episode?
You mean the demolishment of my boy Young Rico over here? It was a fun episode. I think obviously the two
JJ Smoke, same.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you could definitely make a case. I mean, Timur looked really, really good in there. In my opinion, probably the most exciting fighter. Probably should get the contract out of everybody that was in that division. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Gibson, dog, right? I mean, he was just way too much for our boy Rico. I had high hopes. You were thinking with Connor focusing on him.
I tried to tell you.
I love an underdog. I love my underdogs, you know?
I tried to tell you about it.
I know you told me about it, man. And Gibson's no joke, right? I guess my big thing was, is he going to be injured? Is he going to show any signs of diminishment? But, hey, man, this guy's built different, right? He's built for tough. So
built for tough.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, I was hoping to see a little more striking. I was hoping to see a little more back and forth. Rico blamed the slip. I just blame having no ground game, no grappling game whatsoever.
Yeah, the slip may have started it, but I mean, you didn't exactly do much to repair it. So
yeah. You also got drowned for the next 4 minutes or however long it was. So
that's actually the best way to put that. He got drowned. He literally, genuinely got drowned across the distance.
Yeah, and I actually just watched.
Until he got finished.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. We were watching. I think it's called The Deep Breath or The Deepest Breath. It's on Netflix. And it's about these like deep sea divers, and they're able to go meters down. They hold the breath. It's the pressure, right? I mean, it's all mental.
I'm already out. I'm not
Dude,
watching.
it's Fear Unlocked. It is like, oh man, it's so inspiring though. A part of me was like, man, this is like next level. They're beasts, I mean, they put it all on the line. But yes, it reminds me of this, that he was drowning. He was trying to swim, search for air. He thought he was breaking surface, but
Cody was doing everything right. Like the body triangle, switching to the body triangle to get the hooks in to flatten him out. Like everything he did, it literally looked like a surgeon walking into the surgical room, fully prepped, ready to go, having a game plan, and just slicing through his guard like just a finely tuned scalpel, man. It was disgusting. And
super clean. And I don't know if it was because it was so early.
And with one fucking leg.
That's the thing.
With one leg.
Yeah. I think even Rico mentioned something there. He was like kind of surprised he was able to lock up that body triangle and he got it in real quick.
Dude, when he locked the body triangle, I literally cringed. I'm like, oh, is he literally restraining the body triangle with his bad knee?
Yeah, I mean,
that's
when
foul.
You're in there, it's
like, I can't imagine.
Maybe I don't know if they can do it like they do in the NFL, but you inject some cortisol or something, or just put something in there, and fake it till you make it, I guess.
Yeah, man.
But no, he looked phenomenal. Not to take anything away from him, he earned it. He looked great in there. Definitely the better fighter. And man, I don't know if it was just to kind of add more fuel to the fire here, but him and Brad were getting into it a little bit there. Him and Chandler, they were showing a little exchange in the house there. He's just calling him out.
That.
It got me going.
Cody's my kind of guy, dude. I love when Brad tried to flip the script on him. He's like, "Oh, is this something that your students are going to be proud of? You're proud to teach your students this?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're a prick."
Like, yeah.
Like,
I don't like you.
I don't like you. Like, he's like, I don't think that like people should let prima donnas or bullies like belittle them. So I'm glad my students are seeing this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw, but last night he posted his students all sent him. They each made like go Coach Gibson, go Coach Cody signs and sent it to him. They made like a compilation video. It was adorable, dude. I was tearing up last
awesome.
night.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. That'll hit you right in the feels, man. Right in the heartstrings. Hey, man, it's going to be a fun show. He earned his ticket here to the finals. UFC 292, Boston, fired up. It's going to have that extra juice. I know that much. Again, how healthy is he? The unfortunate part is, as annoying as Brad is, man, he's a damn good fighter. He did weather the storm. He was able to get through Tamir somehow, some way. I think he could do something similar here to Cody Gibson. I don't know how many different threats he'll pose. I don't know how much stronger or faster or how much more of a problem he would be than Tamir was, right? I mean, I think it can be very similar in terms of competitiveness, in terms of just the ferocity of the fight. Again, Cody's gonna want to go in there and take his freaking head off. But Brad he's just a pesty, well-rounded son of a gun. Love him or hate him, he's a damn good fighter, and he's really well-rounded, and he's probably more healthy. So I love Cody Gibson. I'm gonna be rooting for Cody, but I have a feeling this heel Brad Katana is gonna be the Kobe Covington 2.0 here and try to take his heel status and run with it, man. That's just how I'm feeling. I don't know, man. What do you think? Talk me off the ledge here.
I think maybe you should have had that cup of coffee after all there, but
You're right about it.
No, so let's just jump right into it, guys. Brad Katana and Cody Gibson are two very different men fighting for the very same thing: a shot at a second chance. A chance to be back in the most esteemed MMA promotion in the world, and more importantly, they're both fighting for a chance at redemption here, folks. Katana is known for his well-rounded skill set and his ability to adapt to different aspects of the fight game. He has a background in striking and grappling, which makes him versatile, just a very versatile threat overall inside of the cage. He possesses a very solid jab, which is super underrated, and also an array of striking combinations that he uses to keep his opponents guessing. As you pointed out, he's annoying, right? He's also comfortable in the clinch, where he can land effective knees and elbows. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt and has showcased his submission skills in his previous fights as well. His ability to secure takedowns and control his opponents on the ground has actually proven time and time again to be a pivotal part of his game plan, even though his striking is as good as it is. Across from him will stand a wily veteran in Cody Gibson. This man was cut from the UFC back in 2016 and since has fought and collected wins over notable opponents such as John Dodson. Yeah, that's a household name, folks. Gibson's striking power is his standout feature here. He possesses heavy hands and has displayed his knockout abilities in his victories previously. His striking technique combined with his power make him a formidable adversary across the octagon cage. However, as of recently, Gibson has actually displayed more of a calm and adaptable approach. This comes with his significant amount of fight experience and cage time he's accrued outside of the UFC. His fight IQ and ability to adjust during the fight could and should play a very crucial role in this performance on Saturday night against Brad Katana. Both fighters bring unique strengths to the table. Katona's versatility in striking and grappling against Gibson's knockout power and overall advantage and experience. It is a matchup that looks to be back and forth battle for the ages and for another shot at UFC greatness and a UFC contract. The big question is, who do I have winning this thing? I'm going with Cody Gibson. I think that he's going to be too much on the feet. I think he's going to overwhelm him with the pressure. And I think that no matter how good Brad Katona's jab is, it's not going to be any kind of match when he has a much longer, much stronger Cody Gibson standing across from him. Cody Gibson actually has a 6.5-inch reach advantage over this young man.
Sheesh.
Pretty damn 5'10". Significant.
He's a big 135er.
He's a big guy. He's a big guy. And he made championship weight. The guy's going to go out there. He had a clean cut. He had a good cut. Got to imagine he's nursed that knee a little bit. If he was able to do that to your boy this week on the episode, imagine what he's going to do to your boy on Saturday. It's not going to be pretty for Brad Katona. And I think he just might have the kryptonite for that Superman. Turn him back into Clark Kent.
Ooh, I like it. God, that was well said, brother. I mean, you put the bow on it, man. Not much else needed to be said there. Let us know what you think, chat. JJ Smoke, let us know what you think, brother. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one, ladies and gents.
We definitely did our homework this time around, folks. That's what happens when we have a little bit of extra time off, you know? Moving into the next one, we got Kurt the Hurt Hollabach. You know what we say in the South, Hollabach. Woo, woo, Hollabach. Going in against Austin Hubbard. I like Austin Hubbard a lot, but I like Kurt Hollabach a lot more. You know, I'm from the South. You know what I'm saying? Dirty. You heard me? Louisiana got to rep Louisiana, and he is definitely about as Louisiana as it comes. Dude, this is going to be a great fight. This is going to be one for the ages. You want me to take the lead, or you want to take the lead on this one?
Brother, you're hot. You're fired up, man. Tell us about your boy. Let's go.
All right, let's go. When it comes to Kurt Hollabach, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it doesn't matter who you are, what you are. As long as you identify as a fight fan, you're in the right place. When it comes to this guy, Kurt Hollabach, there's a certain quote that comes to mind, Nano. Success isn't always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said that.
Let's go.
And it came to my mind as soon as I saw this young man back inside the UFC lights on Tough. Kurt made his UFC debut, for those of you that don't know and are new to this sport, back in 2013 against Steven Siler on the very opening fight of UFC 159, aka John Jones versus Chael Sonnen. He stepped in on 1 month's notice to face an opponent and make his UFC debut. Less than 3 months after having lost a unanimous decision to Pat Healy outside of the promotion. Kurt stepped in on short notice and he lost that fight to Steven Siler and was cut instantly by the UFC. No second chance. It took 10 more fights before he was given even a shot on Dana White's Contender Series, earning another shot and ultimately losing 3 in a row because they fed him to Raoni Barcelos, Shane Burgos, and Thiago Moises. Yeah, you might know those fucking names. What happened? He got cut again. Now, 10 years after his original UFC debut, he will make that walk again tonight, folks. Across from him, though, is no easy test. Austin Hubbard is someone who is younger in their career, but has seen the UFC octagon 7 times, actually, going 3-4 in the UFC before being cut. He looks to obtain a second chance in the UFC as well with a win over Kurt. But again, just like for Kurt, this is no easy test for Mr. Hubbard. Both of these men possess a somewhat similar skill set in that they are both skilled grapplers who seemingly prefer to showcase their striking skills on the feet and put on a good show for us fans. The biggest difference in style, or the style in which they strike, is Kurt the Hurt Hollabach gives meaning to the nickname The Hurt. He possesses a wide range of striking techniques in a style that combines power with accuracy. Pinpoint accuracy, throwing everything he has into those shots. You can tell that when this man unloads anything from the chamber, it's got venom on it, and it's meant to destroy you. Austin Hubbard, however, is able to move forward and land strikes while seemingly not slowing down across the distance. The question is he able to continue doing that and utilizing his typical pressuristic style once Kurt lands those first big shots? I see Kurt having the advantage in every aspect of this fight outside of age. It'll be a competition of the young hungry dog versus the old grizzled junkyard dog, and I can't wait.
Let's freaking go. Let's go, man. God, you broke it down fantastically. Not much else I need to say here. I agree with you, brother. Kurt is going to put a hurt on our boy Austin Hubbard over here. I just think he's going to be a bit too much for him. I think, honestly, he might dominate him very similarly to how he did to our boy Jason Knight. I'm curious if they're both going to throw caution to the wind and, give us a fan-friendly fight, or if they're going to be a little more tactical, knowing what's at stake, knowing that their UFC career, again, is on the line. With that being said, I think Kurt just has way too many tools in the toolbox. And like you said, man, he's so sharp and he hits you so darn hard. He looks extremely strong. Both these guys look big, in my opinion, for the division. 155, it's crazy to think that they fight the same weight class as, the Chandlers and Dustins of the world. Obviously, thinking about that, it's like, okay, there are obviously levels to it. But man, when I watch Kurt fight, I think, man, this guy, he hurts people. Like he's built a little different, man. And he's been in there with some dogs, we would like to say around here. A little bit more of the busier fighter and still more accurate as well. Being Kurt Holobaugh, we gotta go with our boy. It's Kurt. He's willing to put the hurting on him, man. That's it.
Kurt the hurt all day, baby. Let's go. You heard it here first. Bet the bank on Kurt Holobaugh. And moving into the next fight, guys, we're going to brush through some of these next ones before we make it up to our top 3 that we're going to go over. But we would be remiss if we didn't talk about them, right? So Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez, you might recognize him or remember him from crazy good knockouts on his end, or having a disgustingly large cut, or just, most recently losing to Bruno the Hulk Fajeda. Either way, every time he's in there, win, lose, or draw, the guy puts on one hell of a show. And I'm excited to see him come in against Denis Tayuliulin from Moscow, Russia. Dude's fighting out of Evolve Gym. He's 10-7, kind of a 500 fighter, if I'm being completely honest. He's definitely a solid guy, but he is 1-2 in the UFC right now with losses to Aliskab Kizirev and Junyoung Park. Most recently, Junyoung Park, who got the RNC, the rear naked choke on him, on the, I think it was on the undercard of Lewis versus Spivak. And then Gregory Rodriguez, again, he's the bigger, stronger, longer guy, fighting out of Killcliff FC by way of Brazil. I mean, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one, other than this is going to be a comeback for Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez, right?
Absolutely. RoboCop is finally making his UFC return after that flash knockout against Bruno Fajeda that we actually broke down back in January. It's fun, crazy to think back that we've been doing it pretty much almost every week, double time since then. We're getting after it. Let's go. But he's back, right? RoboCop's back, and he has the toughness and he has the youth on his side. I think he does have more in the tank. I think he's got that reboot, the software update. He's a RoboCop 2.0 out there. That's what we're going to see. Because again, I think he took enough time off from that flash knockout. Dude's big. He's strong. He's robotic. Como origato, Mr. Roboto will knock your ass out. That's what I think is going to happen here this week, tonight. Jeez. But yeah, Denis, a tough Russian fighter. He did have an impressive outing last time out and about against a raw Jamie Pickett. He has 10 wins, 9 KOs. So, dude, I mean, he's got some heavy, lethal hands here. RoboCop's going to have to avoid them early. But I do think that RoboCop has the skill set, like you mentioned, man. Well-rounded. And as long as he shows enough patience, I think the violence will eventually come out. And this will be a fun prelim for us, ladies and gents. I think RoboCop's going to get maybe the first stoppage of the night here.
I completely agree with that. I think I could definitely see him. I don't know if it'll be the first stoppage of the night. I think the first stoppage might end up actually coming in the early prelims. If I'm being completely honest, I could see Andrea Lee and Natalia Silva getting into a crazy exchange and one of them two getting finished.
True.
Yeah. But, and I mean, come on. Kurt the Hurt going against Austin Hubbard. I don't know who's going to go down, but someone is.
Man, it's tough. That's fair. That is fair.
But I definitely think that we will see probably one of the crazier knockouts of the night, or earlier knockouts of the night in this one.
Yes. This one will not last long.
Now, speaking of not lasting long, we got to address the elephant in the room in this next one. Chris, the All-American, born in the USA, Weidman himself, Chris Weidman, the Weidman. He just lasted a mere 17 seconds in his last fight, a whopping 2 years ago, April 24th, 2021, against Uriah Hall on the undercard of Usman versus Masvidal 2. And what ended up happening, he threw a leg kick, and basically just his bone wrapped around another man's bone. It was disgusting. I think I speak for the entire collective MMA community when I say that if you want to see the tightest clenched butt cheeks in the world, Turn and look at any MMA fan, the first, and second, and third, and every following leg kick that Chris Weidman throws in this fight. I know. Like,
if he
literally,
throws one.
I'm going to clench my butt cheek so hard. Like, I did it so hard, my whole freaking desk just moved. That's going to be the case all fight, all night.
Yeah.
I mean, like, oh, God, dude. Like, I don't know if you heard him at the presser. They asked him if he, if he's going to throw leg kicks. And he literally joked and was like, you got to let me get one before you check him. Like, at least let me land one. I'll let you land one, but let me land a leg kick before you start checking him. Thought that was funny. Love that he has a sense of humor about it. I don't know if I would. I get nauseated just thinking about that clip. And Brad Tavares is no slouch. I mean, he's 19-8, which is, again, not the greatest record in the world, but standing across from him, 15-6, Chris Weidman doesn't have the best record either, right? They're about the same kind of win-loss ratio. The difference is, like, Bruno Silva and Dricus du Plessis are the last two losses on Brad Tavares' record. And he went to the distance against DDP, which gives me a little bit of worry when it comes to Chris Weidman. However, I think that we might see Chris Weidman go back to his all-American ways, hit some all-American wrestling, and just give him a good old-fashioned USA wrestle fucking. I think that might be the case. But, man, I think it also just might be the hopeful in me. So I can honestly tell you I probably won't be betting on this one. But curious to hear your thoughts, Nano.
Yeah, it's I think the All-American in myself here is definitely wanting to see that ultimate comeback story, right? A gruesome injury, like you mentioned there against Uriah Hall over 2 years ago. And he's had, ample time to recover. I mean, but man, I'm pretty sure Daniel Cormier and some of the build-up stuff here for the fight was talking about like maybe a documentary or something that's coming out, like a E60 that goes into more detail about it. I mean, man, Chris had to relearn how to walk. But through his faith, through his strength and his ability to fight back, has his family there to maybe push him as well. Has all the motivation, all the why in the world, and dude's got some just good old classic American grit, man. I mean, it's hard not to root for the guy. The obvious thing here, and the lines show it, and why Brad Tavares is that like a little bit of a heavier favorite here at minus 260. You can get Chris Weidman at plus 210. Which to me just sounds so juicy. And again, I mean, I'm trying to capture lightning in a bottle here. I understand Chris Weidman's 39 years old, but I think he could channel a little bit of that Glover Teixeira, right? With a couple years off, maybe a little bit of time to heal. Obviously, literally. Let's go, JJ Smo. Both going for Weidman here. I think all three of us are, honestly. Because again, he's got that tough American wrestling background, and he still has some heavy hands. He still has the ability to strike with you, and I think he can dig really deep. He has that championship level pedigree. He is an ex-champ. So I think his striking ability, I think his ability to grapple, get to the chain wrestling, and just avoid the nukes that Brad Tavares has. And he has some heavy hands. He's someone that is motivated, trying to make that next jump in his career by getting a big name under his belt like Weidman. But Brad has lost some fights. He has some holes in the game. And again, I think when you've been at that championship level, when you're as smart as someone like Weidman is, I mean, he's still connected to the UFC. He's still analyzing it. He's still breaking it down. It's not like he's, been out of it. I mean, he's obviously been rehabbing, doing his thing. But again, we love a good comeback story. And I think this is going to be a fun one for our boy Weidman, man. I think he's going to continue to be a staple here as long as he wants to fight. Maybe a couple more big names there. I don't know if he's necessarily going on a title run per se, but hey, go out on your terms, go out on a good note. And it's tough. I mean, for Brad, I mean, again, he's coming off of some losses to Dricus du Plessis and Bruno Silva most recently. And I mean, again, his back's up against the wall. I mean, geez, even the fact that everything going on in Hawaii, it's like, I don't want to root against the guy. Like, huge shout out and thoughts and prayers out to them, Maui and everybody in Hawaii. But it just boils down to skills. And I think it boils down to the mental game. And I think Weidman's going to have that edge, man. Like you said, maybe after he throws that first kick, or hey, don't freaking throw him at all. Just go punch him in the face and take him down. Punch him more in the face.
Hit him with the same elbow that you hit Mark Munoz with. Do that.
There we go. Do that. Yeah, get that one back in the rotation. But this is going to be a really fun fight. I think we're going to see some vintage Weidman here. It's going to be a fun clash.
No joke.
Weidman, baby.
If you haven't seen that elbow I'm talking about, Mark Munoz, what's up, Brianna? Let's go. If you haven't seen that elbow I'm talking about that he delivered on Mark Munoz, and this is before the Anderson Silva fights, I still to this day, and you know how like into MMA I am, I would say that's probably one of the top 3 best timed and placed elbows I've ever seen in my entirety. It's up there with Yair Rodriguez, like turning the tides of a fight that he was down 24 minutes and 59 seconds of against Chan Sung Jung. Like the way he sliced down Mark Munoz's forehead as he was rushing in to blitz, and it dropped him. It was disgustingly perfect timed. So fight fans, do yourself a favor and make sure you go watch that after you listen to this or watch this. And man, jumping into the next one, I actually am stoked about this next one. We got Marlon Chito Vera coming in against Pedro, the Young Punisher Munoz. The Young Punisher should probably just drop the Young and just go with the Punisher these days. He's up there. He's 36. Marlon,
spring chicken.
The Young Chito Vera is only 30. He's a spring chicken here in this one. This is going to be a curious matchup. Definitely a clash of styles. One guy is more of a grindy type of fighter, in my opinion, in Pedro Munoz, coming in against a guy that honestly tends to be asleep for the first 5 minutes of the fight. He takes the first round off most fights, more often than not. But God, that's how he ends up winning, because he almost lulls you into this false sense of safety and confidence, and then he destroys your soul in the next few rounds. He's just 30 years old. He has 20 wins, 8 by way of TKO/KO, 8 by way of submission, and only 4 going the distance to decision. Man does not like leaving it in the hands of other folks, and that's probably why he's a fan favorite. Curious to see how you see this one going here, Nano.
Man, this is a really fun fight. I mean, this can be a co-main, maybe a main event on a fight night. This has fireworks written all over it. 2 of the most exciting bantamweight fighters right now. Obviously, we have the main event, which are 2 of the dogs fighting as well. But these guys have a lot of juice behind their name, and they know what's at stake here. Both of them have fought Sugar Sean O'Malley. If he wins and they win, he already talked about maybe a collision there. So a lot is at stake to stay in the conversation for a potential contender. But my boy Marlon Chito Vera, my Ecuadorian brother, similar arc in his career, I feel like, to a Charles Oliveira. Honestly, if you think about it, Chito has been in the UFC since 2014. And over the last 2 years has accumulated wins over some greats, right? We're talking future Hall of Famers here. My boy Sugar Sean to lead off the list. Might be a little biased there. Don't hate me for it. But Frankie Edgar, a dog. Rob Font, stud. And our boy Dom Cruz, another savage, man. That is a murderer's row that Marlon was able to pick apart, to just literally kick in the face and say, get out of here. I'm taking your spot. Get out of my way. Chito, yeah, again, was able to pick them apart. Just being the more calculated, like you said, lulled them into this false sense of security, and then just violently put them away. I mean, I love the way he fights. Good knack for throwing like his well-timed strikes, his counters. Holds a lot of power in both hands. Again, can knock out his feet as well. He's willing to throw elbows, willing to mix it up and just get nasty with you. And he's got a good boxing pedigree as well. Again, Chito is a problem for most 135ers on the planet, besides like a Corey Sandhagen or someone that's just special, right? Corey's an anomaly. He's a unicorn in the division. Same with Aljo. But
you could say that Sandhagen is an MMA anomaly.
Right, you are, Cotton. That was a layup. Hell yeah. Thanks for taking that. But hey, man, I mean, Pedro, again, I mean, and I found this out through the UFC pre-fight show that they do. They're doing a little trivia. But Marlon Chito Vera has the most finishes in bantamweight, and then Pedro has the most fights in bantamweight history. So, hey, man, coming off another dog, another staple in the division here. Pedro is coming off that amazing KO victory over our boy Guapo, Chris Gutierrez. He did look really fast. He looked strong. He looked angry in that fight. It was a really, really fun version of Pedro that we saw. A part of me thinks maybe he just caught Guapo off guard a little bit. I don't think Chito's going to be surprised with anything that Pedro brings into the octagon here. Before this win, Pedro did lose to both Frankie Edgar and Dom Cruz, along with Jose Aldo and Aljo, Main Sterling. Some big names, obviously, not to discredit him for that, but using a little bit of MMA math here, I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to lean against the guy that has beat the opponents that he's also seen. I And I think Pedro, as strong as he is, as durable as he is, I think he does have some holes on his feet. Tends to keep his hands down when he starts throwing, almost like closes his eyes in a way, it feels like. Where I think Chito's going to expose that. When it starts getting into a firefight, Chito's going to stay cool, calm, collected, going to stay calculated, find the chin, and just, go about his business very nonchalantly. So I'm excited for it. I don't think this, I don't know, as durable as Pedro is, I mean, I could see a finish here, honestly.
I think it's going to be a finish, too. I don't think that's out of the question. I also love that you compared Marlon Chito Vera to Charles Oliveira. I mean, all in favor of him changing his name to Marlon Oliveira. I mean, let's go, baby.
Go.
It's too easy. It's just too easy.
Another fun one with Marlon, too. If you just type in Marlon Chito Vera transformations, this guy, the best looks.
Years?
I mean, every year he can be a different person. One year he's Marlon, one year he's Chito, one year he's Olive, one year it's phenomenal to see. I love it. Highly recommend.
My favorite was when he had the almost Uriah Faber swoop hair. Yeah. It was nice, dude. It's good.
He kind of has it now.
Flowy locks. Yeah,
he's kind of got the little do right now.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I like it. So I don't think you're crazy in thinking that he could finish Pedro Munoz here. Have we seen Pedro Munoz get finished a lot? No, we've actually never seen him get finished. The guy has 7 losses. All 7 losses are decisions. But I mean, here's the thing. Marlon Chito Vera goes out there and he knocks people out that don't get knocked out. Again, let's just call a spade here. He does it in such a fashionable way, you don't expect it coming. Again, I look to the Sean O'Malley one. That is technically a TKO, right? He finished him and made it to where he couldn't continue. It started with a kick to the peroneal nerve and shut down his entire leg, but he finished with punches and elbows. I don't think it's crazy to think similar could happen to Pedro Munoz, but I think he actually could get a standing TKO, a real finish KO on him. The reason being, Pedro is really durable, as you stated, but he constantly marches forward. He's coming into this fight with a 5.5 reach disadvantage against Marlon Chito Vera. And Marlon usually fights at a disadvantage. He doesn't have a huge, crazy reach. Pedro just has a shockingly short reach for how just tanky he is, right? It's just the opposite side of those spectrums for these two. And I think it's going to pay dividends for Marlon Vera because he knows how to use his range. I love your comparison to Oliveira, but I'm going to come back with a different one. I'm going to say that he is, by all rights, Israel Adesanya if he was born in Ecuador and never found anime.
Oh, here we go.
Because just like Adesanya, he takes the whole first round to basically download data. And then after that, he picks up on patterns that 16 people that fought you before this didn't pick up on. He did it with Dominic Cruz. He's going to do the same exact thing with Pedro Munoz. So the way that Dominic Cruz leads with his head, with his footwork, every time he does any kind of shuffle, he lets his head lead the dance, which is why he ate the head kick knockout, swaying to the right, leading with his head right into the shin. I think it's going to end up being something similar to that, but it's going to be maybe a flicker up kick, like a whip, Thai style whip kick. But instead of going to the body, he's going to go straight through to the face because Pedro leaves his, he has a pretty tight guard. He's good. He's great defensively. Not trying to disrespect, but he does leave holes. He usually keeps his hands pretty wide to protect for hooks and or punches. A kick is just going to slice through that guard like a hot knife through butter, folks. I really think that Marlon has the more polished striking, and I think he'll be able to shut the lights off. Gotta agree with JJ Smoke in the chat here. Pedro got T-Rex arms. That's a fact, son. Let's see what Brianna said here. Interesting. Agree with the Izzy analogy of downloading info and analyzing the situation. And then, of course, we all got to laugh at the T-Rex arms.
That was good. That's solid.
That was solid from JJ Smoke in the chat. So yeah, I think it sounds like we're both on the Marlon Chito Vera train. I'll probably wear my Marlon Vera shirt, eat a bag of Cheetos, you know what I'm saying? Like the degenerate I am, just to make sure we're locked in.
locked and loaded, baby.
So jumping into the next one, this one we're not going to spend a ton of time on, but we'd be remiss if we didn't at least go over it a little bit. We got Damon Blackshear coming in against Mario Bautista. This is a really fun one, in my opinion, just because of the the Blackshear fact that DeMonster Blackshear literally just fought a week ago. Yeah, he fought on the 12th, folks. He got a twister, the third person, to my knowledge, in UFC history to ever pull off a twister.
That's
and
correct.
Just what an absolute stud. He gets it done against Jose Johnson, and now he steps in just a week later on a week's notice against Mario Bautista, who needed a new opponent after his opponent that he was previously scheduled against had to drop out. Little bit more of a notable name in his previous opponent, and Cody No Love Garbrandt, but man, you got to think Mario Bautista is super happy to still have a fight on this card. He's still on the pay-per-view, which is a blessing in my opinion. And for Damon Blackshear, win, lose, or draw, you're stepping up on a week's notice. You just got a prestigious submission win that nobody really gets anymore. And so again, like, you're only going to build your stock here. Best case scenario, you go out here and you beat this guy that's on a 4-fight win streak in the UFC, with 3 out of the 4 coming by way of finish. Like, the guy's a stud. He's got 3 first-round submission finishes in 3 of his last 3 fights. So, not someone to be taken lightly. And the craziest thing is, like, this guy has 3 back-to-back submissions, but he's also got dynamite in his hands, folks. He's got dynamite hands. He's got dynamite knees. Damon Blackshear has got his work cut out for him here, but I mean, this could be a really, really fun grappling exchange battle where I could see, like, some of the casual fans going to grab a beer during this fight, and us diehard MMA guys sitting there glued to the TV like, oh my God, did you see that transition, bro?
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one, man. This is going to be a grappler's galore here, man. It's going to be a fun one. Like you mentioned, I mean, not to break it down too much more, I think you won on the nickname here, Da Monster. That's phenomenal. I was to say Daman. This guy Daman is Daman after last Saturday. Mr. Twister, 3rd in UFC history, like you mentioned. Proved last Saturday that he's got a well-rounded game. And now he's trying to join that elite status. I mean, a 7-day turnaround. We've seen, 14 days in the Khamzat Chimaev. We've seen 10 days with like a Sean Strickland or Cowboy Cerrone.
I was going to say
7 days.
I don't think even Cowboy hit a 7-day turnaround.
7 days.
Wow.
I mean, sheesh, our boy, that is wild. That is elite status. You're putting yourself up there with a bunch of dogs. So can his cardio and chin hold up? Damon seems extremely confident. Seems to just be looking right past Mario Bautista, who is 12-2. Dude's a savage, man. He trains with O'Malley out here in Arizona, my home state now, at the MMA lab. Iron sharpens iron, man. I mean, you got to respect some of these names, these gyms that are making a name for themselves. So obviously, I mean, gonna automatically root for my boy Mario Bautista. Hopefully he could keep, his momentum going. Like you mentioned, his last 3 wins are all submission. So no twisters, no more twisties this time around. I think we probably will see some sort of submission victory. I'm hoping it's on Mario's side. But I mean, they can get rolling around, and you never know. It's going to be high level. I know that much.
He's also coming in against a 3-inch reach disadvantage coming in against his new opponent compared to the 4.5-inch reach advantage he would have had against Cody Garbrandt. You got to think that's going to play a little bit into the game planning aspect of things, because he was expecting to have a much easier time getting in range, and now he's going to have to fight those long, lanky arms, and that's not even accounting for the foot reach. Like, I mean, if you think about the height difference here, Cody Garbrandt's 5'7", Damon Blackshear is, well, that's actually not a big height difference. He's only 5'8", so not a huge height difference, but again, the 3-inch reach and arms difference is going to play a little bit of a problem. Luckily for Bautista, Damon Blackshear, even though he does have 2 TKO/KOs to his name, and one of them was very recent, right? It was just back in June. He's had a hell of a year. He's already fought 3 times this year, and he's looking to fight a 4th time here. So,
wow.
Again, he got a TKO in the second round, about 3 minutes and 54 seconds in, over Luan Lacerda. But he's not necessarily known for his power, and Luan Lacerda, with all due respect to Luan, is not Mario Bautista, and he does not spar with Sugar Sean O'Malley and eat those shots on the chin. I think this is going to be a really fun grappler's delight with some arguably entertaining and interesting striking exchanges mixed into a grappling bout.
Agreed. I'm all for it, though. Sign me up.
So we got 3 more fights to go over here, guys, and arguably the 3 that we're possibly the most excited about outside of the tough alums that are going to be putting it on the prelims for us.
Let's go.
Neil Magny, the Haitian sensation, got to be one of the best names ever. Coming in against Ian Machado Gary. Love to hear your take on this, and I'll let you take the lead. I got quite a bit to say.
Yeah, man. I'll keep it short and sweet. Thanks. I love your analysis today, brother. You're on fire. But man, Ian Gary versus Neil Magny. This one is a little bit of a shocker, right? It was a last minute kind of switch up here. And for whatever reason, this has a lot of heat behind it, right? I mean, this one feels a little dark. I mean, I don't know what exactly was said. Apparently, Neil Magny might have mentioned something about whooping Ian Gary's butt like he does his child of some sort, which maybe insinuated that he maybe puts whoopings or spanks, or I don't know. But boy, did Ian Gary get triggered. I don't know if it reminded me of kind of like a Michael Jordan moment where it was like, you're making something out of nothing here, right? Like, oh, he looked at me the wrong way, like that. Now I knew it meant business. It's like, what? He said good game, bro. Like, I don't know if it's one of those things or it's just like he just needed a reason to see red or to find that hate in him. Just like, you know what? I need to find that edge. But boy, triggered our boy Ian Gary. Not a fan of that. And you saw the press conference. You posted a phenomenal video on Instagram and the YouTubes and the X. I was gonna say Twitter, but on X. So go check it out, ladies and gents, if you have. It's phenomenal. But Ian Gary definitely channeling that Conor McGregor, man. I mean, Mr. Machado Gary. It's his time. He's bringing, like I said, a lot of juice. Neil Magny is definitely a interesting puzzle to solve. However, I mean, you've even seen Gilbert Burns right next to Ian Gary. He's training with him. He's giving him all the tips of the tricks, and he's telling him, hey, go out there, go finish him quick, right? I mean, bring a little extra heat. Go get the show that you're looking for. Get the finish you're looking for. I feel bad for Neil, man. Neil seems like a nice guy. I don't know what was exactly said, if he really does beat his kids or what, but Neil seems like a nice guy. I felt kind of bad. I just felt bad watching his face. I'm like, oh man, this is really picking on him a little bit here. Magny, but stylistically a long, slick, savvy veteran. Shout out for taking the fight on shorter notice. But this is going to be a tough matchup. It's going to be a tough outing for Ian. Neil is, if he doesn't put him out quick, if Ian Gary doesn't put Neil out quick, Neil, I mean, he's pesty. Like a Bracketon, he's a little pesty. He's a little annoying in there. He's long. He's hard to deal with. If he starts peppering you, I mean, next thing you know, you're wobbly legs and he's putting you out of there. So still leaning Ian Gary. I mean, the odds and everything. I mean, Ian's going to go out there and probably get a win, maybe by decision. I mean, I don't think he'll be able to make, quick work of our boy Neil Magny. But, all right, JJ. We will have to agree to disagree, brother. I'd love to see it. I mean, that'll be huge for Ian Gary.
JJ Smoke, for those of you just tuning into the audio-only version of this, JJ Smoke in the chat is going Ian Gary first round KO. Love that smoke.
I mean, he's fired up, dude. He seems angry. I wouldn't be surprised if he just runs across the octagon and tries to Spartan kick him in the chest.
His level of anger is kind of reminding me of the level of anger that Dustin Poirier had going into the first fight against Conor McGregor, and we saw how that played out for him. He was a little bit too aggressive, and he got dropped.
Not good.
I could see that happening. Now, jumping into the breakdown here, on one side we have the experienced Neil the Haitian sensation Magny. He's a veteran of the sport. He's got a record of 28-11 and is known for his exceptional reach and cardio. Magny has faced some of the biggest names in the welterweight division in UFC history and has proven his ability time and time again to adapt and overcome adversity against said top household names. On the other side of the equation, we have the up-and-coming prospect, Ian Gary. With an undefeated record of 12 wins, 8 coming by way of finish, Gary has been making waves in the MMA world as of late. He's a finisher known for his striking skills and amazing Conor McGregor impersonations. Gary has shown incredible potential, and this matchup against Magny will undoubtedly be his biggest test to date. When it comes to the striking department, Magny's reach advantage could play a significant role in this fight. His ability to maintain distance and use his jab effectively while wearing down opponents over the course of 3 rounds is something Gary will need to strategize against. Magny's experience also means he's well-versed in the art of mixing up striking and wrestling to keep his opponents guessing at all times of the fight. Gary, on the other hand, possesses heavy hands and explosive striking power. He's shown that he's not afraid to engage in wild exchanges, often leading to finishes. His youth and aggression might be his 2 biggest assets in this fight, but he'll need to be cautious coming in against Magny's calculated approach. Now, when it comes to the ground game, Neil Magny's wrestling and grappling skills could provide him with an advantage. He has a knack for controlling opponents on the mat once he gets them there, using his length to smother and neutralize their attacks from the bottom. Magny's top control and ground and pound could be pivotal if he decides to take the fight to the canvas. However, Ian is no slouch on the ground and does have a lot of BJJ experience in his back pocket as well. He might end up surprising Magny if Magny gets sloppy, greedy, and just hasty and leaves openings while on the canvas. And now, the $1 million question. Who's going to come out on top? Will it be the seasoned veteran Neil Magny using his experience to weather the storm, or will the young and hungry Ian Gary pull off the biggest win in his UFC career thus far? The beauty of mixed martial arts actually lies in its unpredictability, in my humble opinion, and that is exactly what we're going to be looking forward to tonight on Fight Night. It is a clash of styles and a clash of generations that are going to make this fight all the more intriguing. But gun to my head, folks, you already know I'm going with Neil Magny. I will fade Ian Gary every fucking time he fights. I don't like his mouth. He reminds me too much of Conor McGregor, and he's trying too hard to be Conor McGregor. He says he's not here to take part, he's here to take over. Well, he might need to take over impersonating someone else after tonight, because I think Magny's going to teach him a lesson. He might bend him over his knee and beat him like he beats his children, which is not what he said. He literally said that, sometimes you got to, your kid messes up, does something wrong. You got to give him a whooping to teach him a lesson. That's the kind of whooping I'm going to put on Ian Gary tonight. Ian Gary latched onto that like, if you've ever seen the anime Naruto, he literally has like the self-esteem issues of Gaara of the desert. Like, he looked at me wrong, so he has to die. Like
he was just waving at you,
bro. Like he just looked at you, dog. Like, he wasn't even talking. Like, what are you doing?
What do you mean?
What are you doing? So
bit out of context here.
I think Ian Gary might be biting off more than he could chew, and I think the worst thing he can do is give himself a false narrative to be upset going into that fight, because in this kind of fight, you need every bit of brain power you have. You don't want to waste any of it on anger, aggression, and just anguish, right? So I think he's going to end up going into the quicksand. I could see him going in very, very brash, very aggressive, possibly rocking Neil Magny early on. But wholeheartedly, I think Neil Magny has the chin to recover. I think he'll get the fight to the mat, and once he gets it there, Mr. Ian Machado Gary is going to realize that the only thing Machado worthy that he has is his name, because it's not his BJJ skills, folks. And Magny's going to put that on full blast. Ooh. Oh, another thing, Ian Gary on that presser was talking a whole lot about how old and washed Neil Magny is. Fun fact, folks, Neil Magny is 4 years younger than Ian Gary's wife.
Whoa.
So you got to think there's going to be trouble in paradise going home, folks. Win, lose, or draw. Hope he gets a win bonus, because he'll need to buy the lady something nice. And she's 15 years older than Ian Gary. So, he probably shouldn't call people old or mess with age. You don't want to leave that landmine alone.
You did your homework, my guy. Wow, you're coming from all angles. I love what you said earlier. Like, I just don't like his mouth. Shut your mouth. I just don't like his fucking mouth. I don't like his mouth.
Shut your fucking mouth.
I don't like your mouth.
We're not here to take part. We're here to take over.
Oh my Atlanta.
Like, see, Ian, I can do it too, bro. I can do a good Conor McGregor impression. I just choose to be my own person. So moving into the next fight, we have Zhang Weili coming in against Amanda Lemos. This is a solid fight that I'm very excited about. We have two ladies coming in here, putting it on the line. Zhang Weili putting the belt on the line. Amanda Lemos putting the pride and a lot of work across the last few years in this division on the line against a very game Zhang Weili. You want me to take the lead on this one, or you want to take the lead on this one, Dano?
Honestly, I was Google searching Ian Gary's wife just to double check who that was. I got a little sidetracked here. So you take the lead, brother. I'll throw my 2 cents in after, because you're on fire, man. I love it.
Let's go. So jumping into Zhang Weili versus Amanda Lemos. Zhang has made a name for herself as one of the most dominant forces in the division. Her striking power, aggressive style, and impressive takedown defense have catapulted her to the top of the division. This is why she's champion today. Lemos has been gaining attention for her knockout power and well-rounded skill set. Her rise through the ranks has been nothing short of impressive in recent years, and a victory against Zhang Weili could solidify her as a serious threat to the entire division. Zhang Weili is known for her relentless pressure and devastating punches. She throws with power and precision, often overwhelming her opponents with her striking combination. Zhang's Muay Thai background shines through in her striking style, making her a force to be reckoned with on the feet, and obviously making me a fan as a diehard Muay Thai guy myself. Amanda Lemos, on the other hand, possesses dynamite in her hands, and her knockout victories are a testament to her striking prowess. Her ability to close the distance and land powerful shots could be a key factor in this fight, especially considering that she's coming in with a 2-inch reach advantage. For Zhang Weili, maintaining her trademark aggressive pace and striking pressure will be essential. She'll want to avoid getting caught in a brawl with Lemos while using her takedown defense to keep the fight standing. Zhang's experience as a champion could and should help her stay composed under the pressure of tonight's fight. Lemos will look to capitalize on her striking power by finding openings and landing powerful shots while Zhang is coming forward with her Muay Thai stance. If she can mix in takedowns and grappling exchanges, she might actually be able to surprise Zhang and keep her off balance throughout the rounds. Lemos needs to stay patient and avoid making any mistakes against the champion that is as strong and has the forward pressure of Zhang Weili. Will Zhang's championship experience and well-rounded skill set prove to be too much for the rising contender Amanda Lemos? Or will Lemos' explosive striking and grappling skills propel her towards a major upset tonight? I gotta tell you, I'm leaning towards Zhang Weili's championship experience and overall grit, proving to be just a bit too much for the challenger and Amanda Lemos, and still the champion, Zhang Weili.
Let's go. And still, baby. I mean, we're going to be doing a couple shots tonight, but not on this one. We're going to have to agree. Weili, man, she not only is she getting better and learning more skills in the octagon, but man, she's learning more English as well. Boston, let me hear you. That was very good. It was very good. I was excited about that.
I reposted that this morning, and I think the caption for my quote retweet was, "I love this."
It was, dude, she did really good.
It made my morning, bro. It was so cute. Like,
she didn't even answer the question. She just wanted to say what she probably was dialed in on that the whole time.
I was going to say, she's probably rehearsed that in the mirror so many times. And like, for these fighters from other countries that don't speak our language, like, it's wrong of us to just hope that they learn our language or expect that they will. When they go that extra step and they try to do that, like, they're doing that to communicate with the people that are watching them every single Saturday, right? Like, that's big. That made me tenfold more of a fan. Yeah. And I was already a fan.
You got to love that. I don't know if it was on the embedded or on the countdown, but there was a little scene where she was with maybe her coach or a partner, and she was like going to tell the other coach or someone walking in, he was teaching her how to say brother or brother, like, what's up, brother? And she's like, what's up, brother? And he's like, no, it's a little softer, like, hey, brother. Like, try to get, what's up, brother? You know, whatever. It was like the cutest thing ever. He's like, a little soft, brother. What's up, brother? It was like, and then she hits it. He walks in. They're all cracking up. Great scene. I mean, getting a little sidetracked here, but I think just, hey, they're humans in there. As much as we like to look at them as gladiators or put them on this pedestal, they're humans, and love to see her opening up, being vulnerable, branching out, learning a new language, earning some new fans. But again, Weili, man, she's still getting better. It's crazy to say that, for as talented and as dominant she is. At 34 years old, still in her prime window, and after her last couple of performances, it's hard to really bet against her at this point. You got to give her all the bit of, the greatness that she's earned. And really, the only blemish in her, the only chink in her armor are those two Thug Rose losses. I'm curious if she's ever going to be able to defend those or not, because I think if they cross paths again, I mean, it might be different at this point, man. But that shit might have sailed, and that's totally fine. But now in the relevancy of today, we had Amanda Lemos, the next Brazilian stud on the scene. I mean, always a new crop of talent coming out of there. She's the new kid on the block. Even though she's 36 years old, has slowly matured into this title shot. She's put all of her tools together. Like you mentioned, she's extremely explosive, a really fierce opponent for all these women at 115 or even 125. I mean, the power transfers over. I put in my notes as well, she is extremely springy. I feel like she kind of has a lower guard. She kind of tends to put her hands down, at least when she starts to, make it a firefight. But she makes up with it with her speed, her power, and her precision. I mean, I feel like she really does have all three, and it shows. I mean, you just throw on the highlights, she's putting women out. It's impressive to watch. And she looks strong. And then she even has a good ground game as well. You see that validated with her guillotine choke over the hottie Karate Mommy, one of my favorites ever. So again, I gotta give Amanda all the credit. She's earned this title shot. I'm hoping she can showcase her skills and her durability here. But I just think the longer it goes, the more in quicksand she's going to be, and Whaley's going to be right there to, weather the storm, to have a response for everything. If she starts letting them fly, I mean, brother, it's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of punches thrown.
Brother.
Brother. Brother. Can you hear me, Busted? Let me hear you. That was so.
Yeah, let me hear you, Busted.
Let me hear you.
That was so like
that was perfect. That was perfect.
It was so good, dude. It was so good. I was like, I was watching it on my phone, like clapping.
I found myself saying it. Let me hear you. I was like, that is a good one. Like, you could all these things. What's up? Whatever. Let me hear you. That was good.
I love that, dude. It's like that's rock star stuff, bro.
Absolutely, man. She's a natural. WWE status. But yeah, I think Bayley's gonna win though. I mean, like I said, if it gets into the championship round, she can maybe put her away by TKO. Just accumulation of damage. But it's gonna be a fun fight. Amanda's
gonna be a very fun
girl.
Fight. Definitely gonna be a fun fight. For this next one, why don't we'll break down each fighter and then we'll go into our breakdown of the fight and how we see that going.
I like it.
You want to start us off with Sean O'Malley?
I'm more than happy to. And I was going to say, I got to specify here, disclaimer. I am extremely biased. Okay. Please take my words with the lens and the understanding that I am in the front row of the Sugar Show. Okay. I just went to the dentist. I got cavities, I mean a lot of sugar around these pots, okay? A lot of high corn fructose syrup, like Aljamain's saying. But just to highlight this fight, I mean, man, such a fun build up. Ever since Sugar had his little exchange with Aljamain in the octagon after Aljo beat Henry, really laid the blueprint for this to be a fun, good back and forth, good banter. The Sugar, the Aljamain, Aljo trying to rap, all this fun stuff. I mean, Merab wearing the jacket still. I can't believe he did that. That is hilarious. Merab, making a name for himself here as well. But sticking with my boy Sugar, again, I'm extremely biased, so please take that as it is. But this dance has a lot of hype around it, man. We have the best bantamweight ever going up against the biggest star in bantamweight history, in my opinion. Let's see, what did Brianna have to say here? I was never on the O'Malley hype train, but I am tonight. Nice. He's a great fighter. I think he'll take the W. Let's go, Brianna. You get some good odds if you look on DraftKings. But yeah, I mean, hey, starting with our boy Sugar, man, he's had a great rise here in the UFC. Really became a staple during COVID with the Contender Series. And Snoop Dogg and Uriah Faber making him go viral. The Sugar Show. O'Malley. O'Malley.
O'Malley.
O'Malley.
O'Malley.
O'Malley. I mean, just phenomenal. I mean, we might need to get another celebrity breakdown or stream of Snoop and Uriah going, oh.
Dude, if that happens, that would be very fun.
That'd be so fun. JJ Smoke with some fire in the chat here. I'm going O'Malley, second round guillotine. Wow. That, brother, place $5 on that. You might get yourself a pretty penny. That would be fantastic to see. I'll try to stay focused here because I'm just so darn excited. But Sugar Sean O'Malley, I mean, I'll let you do more of the analysis or breakdown. But just as a fan, I mean, the dude is super fun to watch, super explosive. I know him and his coach, Coach Timbo, are going to be, they're going to be prepared, and they know the daunting task at hand, right? They were able to figure it out with Peter Yan. They know Aljo's going to go out there and try to sniff his crotch. No, all jokes aside, I mean, Aljo's just too dominant. He's funky. He's hard to deal with. And I did think it was interesting. The only thing that I thought was frustrating, as much as it was cool seeing Sugar Sean just cool, calm, collected. He's clicking on all cylinders. He's got his diet. He's got his mentalist. He's got his breathing. He's making sure his sleep's on point. Like, I love the approach that Sugar's taken here to the fight game, to his podcasting, to just putting all the resources into himself. And again, I think he knows what's at stake here. He knows that Aljo's going to go out there and try to wrestle fuck him for 25 minutes. And he said, his life is depending on it. He's basically treating it like it's do or die, right? And when you're in that lens, how do you keep someone away from you? I mean, you gotta stay perfect, right? You gotta stay perfect for 25 minutes. You have to use the footwork. You have to use your athleticism, your springiness, maybe you pretend to shoot a little bit, and some of those feints and then those style points that we typically see as maybe the casual might think, oh, he's showboating. No, some of the feints and those style points are to get in the head, to get Aljamain out of his game a little bit. I think he was trying to do that. Aljamain does seem fired up. He seems a little angry, which I think can favor Sean a little bit, right? That's all leading up to what Sean wants. Go ahead, get angry, get fired up. Right during the press conference, Coach Timbo's like, "Oh, you better get him down early." Now it's just like, "Oh, I will." It's like, okay, he's planting that seed because I think he knows he's going to try to shoot early and avoid the knees, avoid the elbows, all that. I mean, man, Suga's going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at him. I'm just hoping it's enough, man. I'm curious to hear your breakdown a little bit more here, but my boy Suga, man. I mean, how bringing in a lot of great tools, but how do you out wrestle the best wrestler? How do you solve this puzzle that no one has been able to solve yet, right? No one in the UFC has solved it.
It's tough, right? Just jumping into Sean O'Malley first. We'll kick off by talking about the rising star in the bantamweight division. O'Malley is known for his flashy striking style, more so characterized by his unorthodox techniques and pinpoint accuracy. You can truly say that he is a sniper in there. He's a creative striker who often catches his opponents off guard with unexpected strikes and angles. Now, anybody who's ever sparred and or fought will tell you it's not the strongest, fastest, or even the best strike that knocks you out. It's the one you don't see coming. The fact that he's able to pick and choose and disguise these techniques is truly a blessing for him and his style. His kicks in particular are a major weapon in his arsenal. He throws them from various angles, making it difficult for opponents to predict and or defend against. His knockout power is also a factor to consider, obviously, as he's finished several opponents with his striking. O'Malley's movement and footwork are very noteworthy points of his game, constantly moving in and out of range very quickly, making it challenging for his opponents to not only land anything, but to find their rhythm and timing throughout the distance of the fight. His ability to gauge distance is truly becoming second to none in that division, and his ability to manage range is, again, a major testament to his striking acumen as a whole. I think that the biggest threats he's going to prove are going to be in his fakes, his feints, his range, his ability of range control, and his overall encompassing knowledge of striking. The left hand coming down the pipe, the way that it did against Peter Yan, I think could prove to be a problem for Aljo. The way that he sets it up, it flies through the air like a fucking torpedo. It's beautiful to see. I made a little clip of that I posted on Twitter earlier this week. And again, it's literally, he did that same exact setup in training. And as I was watching the clip of him in training last week, I thought, oh, that's the same left hand that he landed on Yan 3 times. And then I went back and I pulled up that fight, screen recorded, and then literally was able to sync it up perfectly.
It looks exact, yeah.
I should actually send you the one without the shake camera angle effect, because it literally bleeds into the same exact fucking shot. It's so insane. Clean. Yeah. And when you see someone hitting something perfectly on pads and then hitting it 3 times in the same fight perfectly, you know that they've drilled that technique 1,000 times. Bruce Lee said it best. I fear not the man who's trained 1,000 kicks. I fear the man who's trained one kick 10,000 times. That's the guy you fear, right? You don't fear the guy that's got 10,000 different attacks in the arsenal for you. You fear the guy that's got 5 or 6 really, really good ones that he knows how to fucking execute at any point in the fight, at any area in the fight, and he knows how to open up the angles to make him slice your shit up. I think that this is going to be a really great fight. And, I mean, we've only talked about half of the side here. We've only really talked about Sean O'Malley. So, we got to talk about Aljamain Sterling. I let you take the lead on your boy, so I go ahead and take the lead on my boy here. We're going to shift our focus here to the Funkmaster himself, Aljamain Sterling, the reigning, defending bantamweight champion of the world. Aljamain Sterling is known for his grappling prowess and submission skills. He is a high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner with an uncanny ability to secure submissions from various positions. His takedowns and transitions on the ground are smooth and calculated like a surgeon on the surgical table. He has the ability to control his opponents on the mat and patiently work his way into submission positions while leaving himself completely defended from the ground game that his opponents present. His ground game is proven to be a nightmare for many of his opponents thus far. And while he's not known for his striking, he's made leaps and strides in the stand-up game. Though not his bread and butter, the Funkmaster striking serves as a means to close the distance and set up each and every component of his grappling entries. And I think that he is going to actually make this more of a striking game against O'Malley to throw off his rhythm. We saw it in the first Peter Yan fight. A lot of people need to go back and rewatch that fight because they think, oh, well, he was an actor. He pretended to eat the knee to the ground and get knocked out. He deserves an Oscar. He was piecing him up for the beginning portions of that fight. He was over pressuring him the same way we saw it happen in the rematch, folks. The rematch wasn't that different from the first fight. The only difference is Peter Yan didn't break the fucking rules, folks. That's it. I think Sean O'Malley is going to come in here. He's going to have a very, very great opportunity to strike with Aljamain Sterling, and Aljamain's going to give him the opportunity to strike with him. I think we truly don't see a takedown attempt for the first 3.5 minutes of this fight. And if we do, it'll be by way of Sean O'Malley.
Wow, hot take. I love it though, huh? Hey, zig when they zag, right? I mean, that I can definitely see that being part of a Coach Ray Longo and Matt Serra and those guys. You know, Aljo's going to be well coached up, and that game plan makes sense, right? Hey, he's going to be expecting it.
It's what made John Jones such a phenomenal fighter in his heyday. Literally, he's the first fighter that got Bruce Buffer to start announcing him as a look-see-do fighter. He asked Bruce Buffer to announce him as that because he planned on going out there. I forget who it was that he did it to first, but like the most memorable one for me is when he went out and fucking power doubled like Chael Sonnen.
That was pretty legendary.
Usually not the path to beat Chael Sonnen, guys. He's a wrestler, and he's usually a better wrestler than you. So, like, I feel like Aljamain Sterling is going to take a note out of John Jones's book and be a look-see-do fighter tonight.
Well, it's funny you say that, too, because Aljo reminded me that they went to college together. He was a freshman when John Jones was a senior or junior, going on his run, starting his UFC career, and he's who kind of motivated Aljo to start. That's how long Aljo's been around. Dude's savvy. I mean, he's obviously like we talked about, man. I mean, going down as probably the best bantamweight ever. I mean, that's pretty much already, set in stone. And the reality is he's starting to get to that Kamaru Usman, that Izzy, Volkanovski, that Khabib level of dominance, right? And it's all centered around that wrestling game, being funky, being hard to just figure out. And the numbers don't lie. You know, I mean, he's dominant. Is it the sexiest? No. Is it the most violent? No. But is it the most effective given his skills and frame? I mean, fucking absolutely. Yeah. And the fight game or the fight business, as Sean likes to call it, it's about winning and taking as little damage as possible. And that's how Aljo operates, man. He's damn good, and he's going to probably continue to do it for as long as he wants to at 135. If he decides to go up, totally different set of problems there. His frame, everything, does it all carry over? That's yet to be seen. But the challenge at hand is probably one of the most decorated, one of the most savvy strikers in the division. I mean, we've seen what Aljo did to Corey Sandhagen. I wonder if it's either going to be like, hey, I'm going to come out and do exactly that, jump on his back early, get him out of there, not even dance with you. I'm not going to play this game. Not going to tango with you. Or like you said, he leans into that and says maybe he's thinking that I'm not going to want to strike with him. And the one strike that I think of was that Khabib eagle punch, where it's like that only lands because you're so damn concerned about the freaking shoot. And if Aljo does something like that right away, and he's funky, it's going to be a weird angle. It's going to be unorthodox. But that can startle and that can hurt Sean early, and then it's a totally different night, right? Then it's fucking downhill avalanche, unfortunately, for my boy.
It's like a snowball. It's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yep. I think you're right, man. I think he's going to cut through it. I think we're going to see more striking than we were anticipating, especially early on. And then I think as it gets later, you're going to see Aljo start to deploy his game plan, the chain wrestling, backpack him. And he is so darn good. He's so strong, right? I mean, like you said, he was able to do it to Henry Cejudo in a savvy way.
And a lot of it comes down to positional awareness. Like, exactly. His positional awareness is so good. Like, knowing where he is on top of you, or even when they're standing up, like knowing his distance, knowing his range. The way that Aljamain in the rematch against Yan was able to defeat the range of Peter Yan so easily, I was very impressed. And again, like, his style is very different than Sean O'Malley's. Like, if you think about it as like not a fight, let's put it into a different analogy here, right? Like, let's say that each man has a boat and they're trying to sink each other's boat. The difference in the way that they're going to do that is Sean O'Malley has 3 fucking large cannonballs, and he's going to launch those cannonballs. And if they hit, there's a big chance that they're going to take out 8 foot of fucking boat hole.
Yeah.
And then you have Aljamain Sterling, who's got 2 pistols and fucking 2 little 9 clips for each of them. Okay, so dude's got 36 bullets. And what he's going to do is he's going to hit you in little tiny pinpoints. And when you're worried about plugging this hole, he's going to hit you here. Then you have to plug this hole. And then he's going to hit another one here. And before you know it, you've got some fucking fundamental structural integrity damage here, bud.
Yeah. You're already halfway sunk in by the time
water out of the fucking boat for the rest of the fight.
You're still celebrating that one big hole. Yeah, we got them. Yeah, they're not doing nothing to us. And you're already halfway. You're already swimming with the fishes, my guy.
And so to throw an even bigger anchor in this, if I'm Aljamain Sterling, and I'm known for this kind of peppering, just pour the salt and pepper, season it up a little bit before you really cook that motherfucker. I'm not going in with that approach. I'm going to change it up a bit just for the first 3 strikes because I want to scare my opponent. He's expecting nothing's going to hurt. So what am I going to do? I'm going to make sure that the first one doesn't take a ton of effort or energy, but it knocks him off his feet. Sean likes to come in and lead long. So what's the best way to beat someone that's long? With kicks. Well, if you look at them, there's a 3-inch height difference, and that's okay. Aljamain is all legs. Sean is
He's
like
long
all
arms
torso.
too. Yeah.
So
that is true.
What I'm saying is Aljamain probably has longer legs than Sean O'Malley if you measure just legs. I'm throwing a teep kick from hell. I'm literally watching fucking the This Is Sparta clip on repeat for 30 minutes before the fight. And the second we touch gloves, boom! I'm kicking you and launching you into the fucking cage.
Right on your ass.
If you stay on your feet. If not, you're landing on your ass, skipping across the canvas. And then I'm not going to jump on top of you and grapple with you. I'm going to make you stand up. Because you're already like, what the fuck? What?
Like, whoa, shit.
That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
And then if you come in, and then instead of doing my typical like poke, 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 I just throw a quick boom down the pipe, and even one of them slightly hurts you, now you are second guessing everything that you walked into the cage thinking. Well, fuck, this guy hits harder than I thought. Like, I've been in that situation in sparring. But it's usually the opposite, where like you see a guy, he hits you for like 3 minutes, and you're like, oh, this isn't that bad. I could take this. And boom, he slips a leg kick in, and you're like, where the fuck did that come from?
Whoa. What the hell was that?
Was that the same guy? So
the hell even was
that? Did you
that?
grab a baseball bat? What was that? Like, that's genuinely the shock factor. So like, if you come in thinking like, what's going to be butterflies, and then it ends up being fucking bumblebees, well, you're already kind of upset about that situational change.
That's fair. A little bumblebee tuna there. Yeah, that's a good point,
Bumblebee
man.
tuna. Bumblebee tuna.
Bumblebee tuna. And I mean, it boils down. You hit the nail on the head. And back to like Sean's side, or at least if I'm Aljo, because the only time he's ever been stalked was a leg kick by Marlon Moraes, who was a beast. I mean, at the time, probably had some of the nastiest leg kicks. And you know the technique.
Chito Vera?
Didn't Marlon Moraes beat Aljo back in the day?
Oh, I thought you were talking about O'Malley.
Aljo.
Sorry. Yes, Marlon Moraes knocked him out.
Sorry.
He knocked him out with a head kick and made him dab on the way down.
I mean, that might be Suga's path to victory. I mean, maybe I'm looking at that tape and I'm looking at what.
Spinning back
sorry
wheel
to bring
kick
this
that he
up.
does is nice.
Even, I mean, dude, if he has that left that he, lunges and ends with, but why not follow up with a leg kick behind it? Or, like kind of Justin Gaethje technique. Sorry to bring him up, but what he did to Dustin. Sorry, man. Whoops, sorry. But that technique is really unique. And I mean, maybe Sean's looking at something like, how can I surprise him? What's he not going to expect? And it's hard to defend that, I would say. I mean, and the way Sean throws it, I mean, like you said, it's so sharp. Dude, I've been watching the new season of Baki. Highly recommend. It's phenomenal. Season 2 on Netflix. But one of the guys, there's like some scenes in there, and like the big thing is they like discover this in the second season. They discover like an ancient man. They call him Pickle for some reason, but he's like this beast like guy that used to beat up like T-Rexes and stuff. And now all the martial artists are like, we want to, I want to showcase my skills, And so like the one karate guy, he's like, I want to showcase, 500 years of karate discipline. And I'm going to evolve us to the 501st year. And then this other martial artist guy, the like actual, like, whatever is like trainer, or I'm blanking now, but another martial artist guy that like the older OG It's like I want to use my 4,000 years of martial arts training and status and evolve it to the 4,001st year. It was the whole season. It's a fun season. But
so who
that
brought
got
in the
me
leg
thinking,
kicks? Was it a Muay Thai guy?
I mean, I'm waiting for him. I haven't gotten that far yet. But I'm making the analogy here. It's like, okay, the wrestling and all that. Maybe that's the 5,000-year-old way. But now Sean O'Malley is going to be bringing in 4,000 years of the kickboxing, of the karate, of all these different disciplines that he's bringing in. It's a long shot. It was a stretch. Please. I think that was just my plug to go watch that new season because it's really fun. But yeah, man, it's martial arts at its finest. It's two immovable objects going up against each other. Who's going to be tougher, man? I mean, you probably got to lean the wrestler, obviously, most times, but we love violence here, man. I love the hometown hero. I love my sugar. So I'm looking and hoping for a finish. I'm hoping for Aljo to be dabbing on the canvas, like Sugar Sean said, da-na-na, da-na-na, top 10, Sugar Sean O'Malley knocks out Aljo makes her leg.
That was the funniest shit, dude.
Even Aljo's like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Ghislaine Sterling or whatever is
that was honestly hilarious.
It's the best.
Yeah, it was good.
On that note, though, I mean, now that we, I guess, broken them both down, I'm leaning Sugar, but realistically, I mean, I won't be surprised if Aljo wins, just solidifies himself as the bantamweight GOAT, and then calls out Volk, and then off to the races there. Then we have a new thing to talk about, but
off to the
what
races.
do you think, brother?
I mean, I do think that Aljamain ends up winning it. I think he should have all the tools to get it done. The poke and prod pressure style is honestly just a fundamental style that will beat and should beat Sugar Sean. Sean, if he's not able to find his rhythm or range, it's going to be a long night for him, and I hope he packed a lunch. He does always have a dog's chance of getting that knockout, and the unpredictability alone of what he's able to pull off is just typically insane. Jumping back to what you were saying about Baki, have you watched Kengan Ashura on Netflix?
No. Have you been telling me about this one?
It is the best martial arts anime you will ever see. I'm going to go ahead and type it up in the chat. That way, if anybody else has Netflix, you got to watch it. It's amazing. It's only one season right now. They've been supposed to have had the second season out since like 2021, I think. But there was like voice acting issues with COVID and I don't know. But honestly,
this looks sick. I mean, the graphics already look pretty cool.
It's incredible. And it's just like, it's all just martial arts. So it's like a Muay Thai guy, a karate guy, like nice. There's there's a lot of really, really fun characters in there. And it's cool to see how the different martial arts play parts. Like they do different grappling and shit. Like you see like the wrist control. It's cool.
That's sweet. Hell yeah.
So yeah, look forward to hearing your thoughts on that. It's a quick, easy watch. I feel like once you watch the first episode, and you see the knockout, you're gonna be like, this is what we're doing until the fight start, Amy.
I was just gonna say I'll probably throw them on before the fight start for the prelims.
Seriously, just talking about it, I'm probably gonna rewatch the whole series.
Let's go.
So without further ado, don't have too much time left that we're gonna take over of your Saturday morning here, but I gotta point out here that Nano won the last round of bet versus bet. He absolutely crushed it. Look at this stud right here holding the trophy, practically printing money over here, guys.
Wow.
I mean,
fantastic.
Come on.
Let me know if I need to bring the stash back, ladies and gents. I don't know. This guy looks sharp.
I mean, I think it's a pretty safe bet to say you should definitely bring the stash back. You kidding me?
Oh man, I love it.
About it. So Nano, great job with the win. You keep that trophy safe for when I come for it this week. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump into Nano's picks.
Let's go. My favorite time of the week, Nano? Baby. Favorite time of the week. Hey, the live Jive Turkey. Although turkeys don't lay eggs, I'm putting all my eggs in this basket, okay? The live Jive Turkey am laying nothing but W's. This basket is full of dubs, okay? I went big. Go big or go home, right? It's UFC 292. We in Boston. I'm feeling lucky. I'm feeling some of that O'Malley luck, some of that Ian Gary luck here. And you're going to see some of that themes all throughout. First and foremost, put my money on my boy, Marlon Chito Vera. Money line, not the best odds. That's why I ended up parlaying it. He's obviously favored by minus 205 here. I think that is a really safe bet. I think Marlon's durable. I think no matter where it goes, Pedro's just not going to have an answer for Marlon's violence and his patience and his willingness to just go out there and bang with you. So give me Marlon Chito Vera all day, every day. Ian Gary, minus 520. The odds are not great here. I was going to try to chase maybe a TKO or a submission, but you know, Ian, he has some holes in his game. He's not perfect. Neil Magny is a dog, okay? And after what Olin said, I'm probably even more thankful because this might break my card, unfortunately. My safest pick, what I thought, might end up breaking my damn card here. So we're going to be all right, okay? I'm going to cradle this egg basket nice and carefully, nice and gently. And so Ian Gary is going to take it home. He's going to beat up Neil Magny. He's going to carry this momentum. He's going to tell him, shut your fucking mouth. He's going to bend him over the knees and spank his bottom. And he's going to keep him moving. And he's going to go make sweet love to his very sweet looking wife here. I don't care how old she is. Good job, Ian. Next, Zhang Weili, money line, minus 310. This is probably the safest bet on the card by far, ladies and gents. Zhang Weili is dominant. She's in her prime. I do think Amanda Lemos is tough, but she's just going to be another notch in Zhang Weili's belt here. She's going straight Thanos status. I don't think anyone can stop her unless they pull Thug Rose out of retirement. She's going to go on a dominant run here, y'all. So get used to seeing Zhang Weili. Let me hear you, Boston. Come Saturday night. Come tonight in a few hours. Next here. This one was tough. My thinking and taking the over 3.5 rounds in Aljamain versus Sean O'Malley. One, it had the best odds, but two, I feel that no one's going to get taken out quickly. I mean, if Aljamain wins, it's going to be because he was able to accumulate enough damage over the first 3, 4, 5 rounds. Maybe in that 5th round is where maybe the wrestling dominance, maybe if, you know, Aljamain is really beating up Sean, maybe eventually he gets to a TKO or some ground and pound at the very end here. But with that being said, I don't see a scenario that Aljamain gets knocked out quick. I don't see a scenario that he just bulldozes through Sean O'Malley. I'm going to root for my boy, and I think he's going to go down swinging. He's going to earn his stripes in there. He's going to finally get to these championship rounds, and he's going to show out. I'm leaning over 3.5 here because it's really good odds. And then last but certainly not least, my boy Chris Weidman. Oh man, we love a comeback story. All-American is back, and he's going to do it in exciting fashion. Brad Tavares is a tough opponent, but he is very beatable. He's a 50-50 fighter at best, and I think my boy Chris Weidman, I don't care. Don't look at the age. Don't watch the YouTube videos. All jokes aside, Chris Weidman's in good spirits, and you can see me there. I'm also in good spirits. I'm ready to go. I'm hanging by a thread here, and that's how I feel with this 5-pick parlay. 1 unit gave me 15.5, baby. Hey, live Jive Turkey out.
Solid picks as usual. I feel like going with all the eggs in one basket here. Not a bad play though. Pretty solid parlay. Love to see you just sliding that in, as you can see there on the side. And jumping into the next one here, we got my picks. Looky, all aboard the rocket ships. We got 2 for you. We got Neil Magny to win by submission or decision, plus 425. I mean, that's a simple enough bet, folks. If he gets it done, I think he gets it done by way of submission or decision. I don't think he's going to knock out Ian Gary. But you know what? If he does, that would be the happiest I'd ever been to take a loss. So moving into the next one, we got a 2-pick parlay for you. Again, hate to do it to him, but I had to do it to him, betting against my girl, the hometown hero, Andrea KGB Lee. And we put Natalia Silva on the card at minus 355. Had to go with a favorite. And, Vegas gets some things right, but they can't be right all the time, just like it can't rain all the time, folks. They got it wrong on this next one. Austin Hubbard being the favorite against Kurt Hollabach. Youngin, woo, Hollabach. He's about to get it done, and we're all going to be Hollabach. He's going to put the hurt on his opponent, Austin Hubbard, and he's going to send him back to Miss Hubbard with her porridge and pie, or however the nursery rhyme goes. Either way, I think Kurt the Hurt Hollabach gets it done. I also have a crazy little parlay. You can look for that one on Twitter. Don't want to lead you guys into the weeds too much with it, but like 65 cents to win 250K. Who knows? Maybe it'll hit. Probably not, but we'll see. If it does, we'll all be crazily excited. And that's the picks. Short, sweet, to the point. All aboard the rocket ship, folks. We are ready to play. We are ready to parlay.
We have liftoff. That is phenomenal, brother. I love it. All about now. Woo, woo. All about now. Ooh, he needs to get some merch. I'll wear that shirt.
That's literally hollaback now. Woo, 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 woo. Hollaback. So since I love to, just throw on the fun facts when it comes to Ian Gary, we have a couple more for you.
Oh man, let's have them.
Ian Gary's wife was already an adult when Jens Pulver and Randy Couture were UFC champions. 9/11 hadn't yet happened. Shrek was debuting in cinemas. Because I Got High by Afro Man was debuting. LeBron James was a high school sophomore. Muhammad Makayev was age 1, and Ian himself was age 3.
Oh Lord have mercy. Did she date Neymar or?
Yes.
Okay. Oof.
Tough competition.
Yeah, tough crowd.
No, but all jokes aside, dude probably shouldn't call somebody old and washed if he doesn't want an argument at home. Probably not the smartest move.
Fair. Yeah.
I do think that his fight is going to be not one-sided at all. I think it's going to be a very back-and-forth bout, and I'm excited for it. As always, you got something I can tell.
I was just gonna kind of end it with, that's gonna be a fun one. There's gonna be a lot of fireworks on this card. Wouldn't be surprised if it sets the record for most finishes. I think it's 7. Is that the magic number?
I think 7 or 8. Either way, let's see, how many fights do we have on this card? We got 3 on the early prelims, we got 4 on the prelims, and then 5 on the main. So what is that? 12? Yeah, 12. Yeah, no.
I like my odds.
I like your odds there. So you know what? You think it's going to be 8 finishes or 9?
Oof. Let me look back through real quick.
So I think Karine Silva versus Marina Moroz is going to be a finish. I think Andrea Lee versus Natalia Silva going to be a finish. Andre Petrosky versus Gerald Meerschaert.
That can also be a finish.
If you look at their finish ratios, I think there's 15% of their fights that haven't been finishes. So pretty high likelihood. Katana Gibson, high likelihood for a finish. Hollaba Hubbard, high likelihood for a finish.
That's probably for sure going to be a finish.
Rodriguez versus Tayulin, probably a lock for a finish if there is one.
Yeah.
The only one I can see being grindy and decision-y is going to be Brad Tavares versus Weidman.
Yep. And then maybe Munoz and Vera too.
I was going to say if Munoz wins, I could see him grinding a decision.
Mm-hmm. But Batista, Blackshear, someone can get grappled. Yeah, I don't think that sniffs a finish.
No chance. Someone even if it's a grappling match, someone gets finished in two rounds.
Yeah, and then Neil Magny and Gary, they're already going out there treating it like they're on the streets, man. They're about to be finding a phone booth probably. So that's going to be fun, fireworks. And then Whaley can get it done. And let's be honest, Aljo can probably get it done too. Yeah. Hey, but needless to say, going to be a fun card. Make sure y'all tune in. Curious to hear your thoughts.
Do we hear 10 out of 12 finishes?
I'll go 8.
I'm going to go 9.
Ooh,
we'll put a shot on it. Whoever's closer.
Yep, we'll be chatting.
We'll be chatting throughout the card. We'll be having a good time, guys.
Absolutely.
As always, whether you're new here or returning, either way, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications. We love you all. We thank you all. And again, doesn't matter who you are. As long as you identify as a fight fan, we are happy to have you here. And if you don't yet identify as a fight fan, please come with us. We will show you the way. We will show you the way.
Welcome you with open arms.
We always welcome you with open arms. And we can't wait to see you for the next live episode, which will be Monday. I will try and work with the co-host here. Maybe we'll be able to pin down something for Wednesday since I'm leaving the country on Thursday. Obviously, no episode then. And no episodes the following week because, again, I won't be in the country. Don't really know how the reception's going to be at the hotel in Rome. So
at 3 a.m. while we're all on regular timing,
waking up the lady and her mom. Sorry guys, I got to record and talk about these fights.
The show must go on. We appreciate the commitment, always, but no, enjoy the vacations, my brother. Absolutely, man.
Thank you. As always, guys, make sure you follow at MMAnomaly on all platforms. And also at Jive Turkey Nano. I think it's at Jive Turkey Talk on Twitter right now. And he will actually be having his podcast take liftoff soon enough. It is going to be focusing on fantasy football. We're going to be doing our draft soon enough as well. Got the hat ready to go.
That's right. We will see an MMA Anomaly crossover. So tune in. If y'all like fantasy football, come join, open to, starting the community and getting it out there, seeing what everyone's thinking, how we're feeling, my approach, my 2 cents. Again, just a guy with a microphone here like y'all, but excited as all hell. And hey, look forward to seeing you. Well, we'll be chatting today, but look forward to seeing y'all again Monday to chat about these fights. Let's go.
And please let us know in the comments section who you're most excited to see fight tonight. Who are your bets on? And if you end up hitting on any of those bets, please post them on Twitter and tag me and at Jive Turkey Talk. We'd love to hear them. We'd love to see them. We'd love to celebrate you guys' wins. It doesn't have to just be us that win, right? Like, we love it when our fans win. So let's go. Let's keep the love going together. And let's keep the passion for mixed martial arts alive, folks. Until next time.